Golden Ridge was the kind of town that felt trapped between yesterday and tomorrow. Old diners, rusty gas stations, boarded-up stores that once served a community that slowly drifted away. On the corner of Maple Street stood Bradley's General Store, a tiny, old-fashioned shop run by the kindest man in town, Harold Bradley, a 72-year-old veteran with a smile that could put the world at ease. He wasn't rich, but he had dignity. He wasn't strong anymore, but he had courage. And most of all, he had his grandson, 7-year-old Liam, who spent every afternoon helping him sweep the porch, count the cans, or wipe down the windows. To Liam, Grandpa Harold was a superhero, not the kind who flew or shot lasers, but the kind who made you feel safe just by existing. On this particular afternoon, the sky churned with dark clouds hinting at a storm. The storm was unusually quiet. Harold was closing early. "Come on, buddy," he said gently. "Let's get you home before the rain hits." Liam nodded, clutching his little backpack. But as Harold stepped outside to lock the door, a black truck screeched into the parking lot. Two men jumped out, rough, impatient, loud. "Hey, old man," the taller one barked. "We need the register opened now." Harold blinked. "We're closed, fellas. Come back, Tome." Before he could finish, the shorter man shoved him hard. Liam watched in horror. "Gee, Grandpa." Harold stumbled, lost his balance, and fell on the pavement with sharp gasp, not a graphic injury, just the sudden collapse of an elderly man who couldn't brace the fall. Liam froze. The taller man barked, "Kid, stay out of this." But Liam didn't stay out of anything. He dropped his backpack and ran sprinting across the lot, across the cracked sidewalk, across the street. He didn't know where to go. He didn't know who to call. He just ran until his feet felt like fire. Then he saw it, a blur of chrome. A motorcycle parked near the old laundromat. A man standing beside it, heavy leather vest, tattoos like stories carved into skin. A biker, and not just any biker, a Hells Angels enforcer, tall, bald, built like a wall. His name was Ryder Knox, though most people called him Knox because messing with him meant combining iron and fire. Liam skidded to a stop, breathless, tears streaming down his face. Mister, please, they hurt my grandpa." Knox turned sharply. He didn't see a random kid. He saw fear. He saw desperation. He saw truth burning in eyes too young to hold it. Knox knelt down, lowering himself to the boy's trembling height. "Slow down, buddy. Who hurt your grandpa?" Liam sobbed hard, nearly choking on the words. "Two men at the store. They pushed him down. He's on the ground. Please help, please." Knox's expression shifted instantly, from calm to focused, right arrow to dangerous. Not violent, not reckless, but the type of danger that came from a man who protected the innocent with absolute conviction. He placed a steady hand on Liam's shoulder. "Show me." Liam grabbed Knox's hand and pulled. They ran. Knox didn't hesitate, didn't ask questions, didn't wait. He followed the boy with strides that shook the ground. They crossed the street, turned the corner, and then Knox saw him. Harold Bradley, lying on the pavement, trying to sit up but struggling. "Easy, sir, don't move," he whispered. The two men who shoved him were now trying to pry the store door open, swearing under their breath. Knox inhaled deeply. This was bad, but not for the reason the men thought. He stepped forward. "Hey," the men spun around. For a moment they laughed. "Oh, look," the taller one snorted. "Another tough guy." Knox didn't blink. "You shoved an elderly man?" he asked calmly. "So what? None of your business." Knox's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed level. "My business is anyone who hurts a kid's family." The shorter man rolled his eyes. "Walk away, Baldy. We're not scared of—" Knox raised a hand, not to hit, not to threaten, just to signal, a single gesture, and from the road behind them came the low, growing, unmistakable growl of multiple engines. 1, 2, 5, 10. By the time the men turned their heads, the road was filling with motorcycles, a full chapter of Hell's Angels rolling in formation. The taller thief swallowed hard. What the hell? Knox did smile. He didn't need to. "You boys picked the wrong grandpa today." The Hells Angels dismounted, orderly, calm, controlled. Every man walked with discipline, not chaos. They weren't there for revenge. They were there for protection. One biker pulled out a phone. Another helped Liam reach his grandpa. Another checked on Harold's vitals, speaking softly to keep him calm as they waited for the ambulance. Knox stood between the thieves and the store. "This is how it's going to go," he said quietly. "You're going to sit down on the curb until the sheriff gets here." "Or what?" Shorter thief spat. "You gonna beat us?" Knox shook his head. "We don't need to. You injured an elderly shopkeeper and tried to break into his store. The law will handle you." The taller thief looked around, 20 bikers staring at him like statues of judgment. He sat. Other followed. Minutes later, the sheriff arrived. The EMTs arrived. Harold was helped onto a stretcher, conscious, shaken, but safe. Liam held his hand the entire time. "Grandpa, are you okay?" Harold smiled weakly. "I'm all right, buddy, because you got help." Liam turned to Knox. "You saved him." Knox shook his head. "No, kid, you did. You didn't freeze. You ran. You found help. You're the bravest person here." Liam wiped his tears. Harold whispered, "What's your name, son?" Knox nodded respectfully. "Ryder Knox, but your grandson can call me Wyatt Earp if it makes him feel safer." chuckled softly. Well, Mr. Knox, thank you. But Knox wasn't done. He stepped closer to Harold. You run this store alone? Harold nodded. Well, you won't anymore. Liam blinked. What do you mean? Knox straightened his vest. Every day after school, at least 2 of my guys will sit out front, watch the place, make sure nothing happens to you or your grandpa ever again. Liam's eyes widened. For real? Knox smiled. For real. Harold exhaled, relieved and humbled. Liam threw his arms around Knox's waist. Thank you. Knox froze for a second. Hardened men like him weren't used to affection like that, but then he placed a hand on the boy's back. You're safe now. Around them, the engines rumbled again. The angels formed a protective circle as the ambulance rolled away, escorting Harold like he was royalty. Knox looked at Liam. We'll visit tomorrow. Bring your grandpa. Flowers, Liam sniffed. For real? Knox winked. Every hero deserves flowers. And with that, the Hell's Angels rode away, not as outlaws, not as rebels, but as guardians of a boy who refused to let fear win. Night fell over Golden Ridge with a quiet that felt almost sacred. The rain clouds finally broke open, letting a soft drizzle sprinkle the sidewalks and rooftops. But inside the hospital room where Harold Bradley rested, the world felt warm, safe, and filled with something the town hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Liam sat beside his grandpa's bed, clutching his hand like a lifeline. Does it hurt? He asked softly. Harold smiled. Only a little, buddy. Doctors say I just need rest. I'll be fine. Liam exhaled with relief, big, shaky, grateful. I was so scared, he whispered. I thought you. Harold squeezed his hand. You did everything right. You got help. I'm proud of you. Liam swallowed hard, but before he could answer, knock, knock, knock. A nurse peeked in with raised eyebrows. Mr. Bradley, you have visitors. Harold smiled. Send them in. The door opened and the room transformed. One by one, 6 Hell's Angels stepped in, leather vests cleaned, boots wiped, each man holding either flowers, fruit baskets, or small boxes wrapped in simple brown paper. Leading them was Ryder Knox, tall, broad, and carrying a bouquet of fresh sunflowers. Harold blinked. My goodness, Knox grinned. You said he likes flowers, he said, turning to Liam. Sunflowers are for strong men who make others warm. Liam smiled like the sun itself. The angels arranged the flowers near the window, placed fruit on the bedside table, and set down gifts on the chair, everything from crossword books to a new flannel shirt to a hand-carved wooden dog figurine that would have cost a fortune in any store. Harold chuckled. You boys didn't have to do all this. Knox shook his head. You've served this community for decades. The least we can do is give a little back. Harold's eyes shimmered. Thank you, he whispered. Liam tugged at Knox's vest. Are the bad guys gone forever? Knox nodded. They're in custody. Sheriff said they'll be facing multiple charges. Liam looked relieved, but also bothered. What's wrong, buddy? Knox asked gently. Liam hesitated. I'm scared to go back to the store. What if someone else comes? What if they hurt Grandpa again? Knox crouched low, looking him in the eyes. Liam, look at me. Liam did. You will never face something like that alone again. We're not leaving you or your grandpa behind. Liam blinked. You mean like family? Knox smiled slowly. Close. We're something a little different. He tapped his vest. We're a brotherhood, and when we choose to protect someone, it's for life. The hospital room grew quiet, not uncomfortable quiet, but the kind that fills your chest with emotion too heavy to describe. Harold wiped his eyes discreetly. You boys have done enough, he said softly. Knox shook his head. No, sir, we're just getting started. The next day, Harold was discharged. The town buzzed with whispers. Did you hear? The Hell's Angels are protecting Bradley's store. Harold's grandson ran for help. Brave kid. Ryder Knox himself is. In town, people peeked from behind curtains, stopped sweeping their porches, and stared as the angels escorted Harold and Liam back to their small general store. 2 bikers walked beside them on foot. 4 more rode slowly behind. Knox walked ahead, carrying Harold's bag. It wasn't a parade, it was a statement, a peaceful, dignified show of strength. When they reached Bradley's general store, Harold paused. The broken lock and scuff marks from last night were still visible. Liam tightened his grip on Knox's hand. I don't want Grandpa to get hurt again. Knox nodded. Then we'll fix that, he signaled, and from the distant road came the roar of more engines. 12, 15, 20. The angels parked, dismounted, and formed a protective circle around the store. One biker stepped forward carrying a small metal case. What's that? Harold asked. Knox opened it to reveal high-grade protective locks, reinforced hinges, security cameras, a new alarm system. Harold gasped. You can't. Knox cut him off with a respectful smile. This isn't charity, this is gratitude. Within an hour, the entire store was reinforced. Locks installed, cameras mounted, alarm tested and activated. The store had never been this safe. Even the sheriff drove by, rolled down his window, and nodded in approval. When they were done, Knox stepped back and handed Harold a small remote. Press this if you ever feel unsafe. Doesn't matter what time it is. Doesn't matter the day. We'll come. Harold stared at the remote like it was holy. You're giving an old man too much power, he whispered. Knox shook his head. No, we're giving a good man the protection he always deserved. Liam hugged Knox again, tighter this time. You saved us twice, Knox knelt. You're strong, Liam. You saved your grandpa before we ever arrived. Never forget that. Liam nodded, wiping tears with his sleeve. As the bikers prepared to leave, Knox turned back. Oh, one more thing, he whistled sharply. A biker rolled forward, holding a box wrapped in brown paper and tied with twine. This, Knox said, is for you, Liam. Liam's eyes went wide as he untied the twine carefully, lifting the lid. Inside was a brand new bright red helmet with black flame decals, mini biker gloves, a leather vest with a small stitched patch that read, Little Guardian, Honor Protector. Liam gasped so loud he almost choked. For me, Knox nodded. You earned it. When others freeze, you ran toward danger. You saved someone you love. That takes courage grown men don't have. Liam slipped the vest on proudly. Harold wiped his eyes again. You've made an old man very proud. Knox extended a hand. Welcome to the family, kid. Liam didn't shake it. He hugged him, hard, and Knox, a man who'd stared down danger his entire life, felt something he hadn't felt in years, a moment of pure humanity. Over the next week, something incredible happened. Customers returned to Bradley's store, not out of pity but out of respect. People donated, children drew cards, the sheriff visited often. And every day at some random hour, one or two bikers would stop by, buy something, sip a soda, and chat with Harold. Not security, not intimidation, just kindness. Liam sat behind the counter wearing his tiny vest, watching proudly as customers entered. Grandpa, he whispered, you're safe now. Harold placed a gentle hand over his. Yes, buddy, thanks to you. In the distance, engines roared, not a warning, but a reminder the angels were near, and Golden Ridge, once forgotten, became a place where justice was real, families were protected, and one little boy's courage inspired a brotherhood. A small town reborn by a single act of bravery, and a biker who refused to let good people stand alone.